And what's going on? Hashtag Nation Paul here from Hashtag Sports. Some breaking news regarding the Buffalo Bills. Field Yates has sent out via Twitter that there's been a Star Lotulelei contract renegotiation. Our mentions have been blowing up on Twitter, so we just figured might as well go and throw up a video real quick and just kind of explain a little bit what is happening from a contract standpoint. Yeah, Buffalo Mafia news. The big man better take a pay cut. Hunter Smith. No, this is Paul, man. So, couple things about the Star contract extension and renegotiation. Really, it's not an extension; it is a renegotiation. And one of the common things that you see a lot of teams do is when they start getting into a player that really they're kind of having some contract regret. That contract usually what they'll do is they'll take some of that base salary that the player has and they convert it into a signing bonus. And what that does is it kind of makes their cap number a little lower this year. That is not what's happening here. So what they're doing is they're actually physically taking money away from Star Lotulelei with this contract. It is clean, clear and simple. They are simply taking money away from him. Now, of course, given the level of play last year, I think Star realizes that this was an opportunity to kind of make right with the contract that he had. The Bills could start walking away from as early as this year. But what this contract restructure does is it basically guarantees Star Lotulelei is going to be on the 2020 Bills. But anything after that is fair game. So what's going on, everybody? Hey, Hen Dog. Hey, War Quarter Red. Hey, what's up, Ron? So here is I do need to renegotiate my deal, Jack. More donuts indeed. So what's happening right now is if the Bills were to try and cut Star Lotulelei right now after this contract restructure, it would cost the Bills $11.3 million to cut him right now, which is more than it would have cost to cut him prior to this contract restructure. But here's what happens. Once that happens, so once we get past the 2020 year, Star goes, it'll cost you $5.2 million to cut him and then $2.6 million to cut him in 2022. So his contract restructure, again, basically guarantees he's on the board for 2020, but it frees up a couple $1,000,000. It actually frees up around $2 million this season. So what's happening is his cap number is going from 10.1 to, again, just looking at it, looks like he's going to drop down to about 8.1. So that frees up $2 million. So again, Bills have freed up $2 million, taken $2 million away from Star Lotulelei for this upcoming season. Next season, his cap number goes to 10.85 or was 10.85. It's going to drop down to 9.1. So again, taking some money away from Star Lotulelei. And then in 2020, it goes from, I think he was at 10.85 again, drops down to $9 million. So they are effectively shaving off almost $6 million of money from Star Lotulelei, which frees them up to walk away from him after the 2020 season if they wanted to do that. But the restructure means if you don't like Star Lotulelei on this team, it's going to cost too much money for them to get rid of him. He's going to be on this team. But it does free up some money, which the Bills didn't necessarily really need. I don't really know. I don't really understand why they restructured. I don't really know what the deal is. But it does free up some money. But if you think about it, right, there's some players on the defensive line that the Bills might want to take this extra cash that they now have and start spending it on a player like Jordan Phillips. You just freed up. You just saved basically $6 million from the Star Lotulelei contract mistake of a few years ago. You can now slide that over to Jordan Phillips. You're saving money right now. You can free up money. Jack Patrick says free up money for a wide receiver. You have plenty of cash right now. If you're the Buffalo Bills, and this frees up just a little bit more room. The one thing that's a little fuzzy is the bonus structure, and let me explain that. So what the Bills are doing is they're guaranteeing Star Lotulelei at a $4.5 million base salary this season. Next season, what ends up happening is if he gets injured, $2.5 million in his base salary gets guaranteed. Okay. But there's also per game bonus structures. So I don't really know where that's going to land. So that could raise the number a little bit. They're trying to push some money into like roster bonuses and performance bonuses. So that could raise the number a little bit. I wouldn't be mad if Star Lotulelei earned incentive bonuses. That means he's hitting his level of play. So I wouldn't be mad about that. But the fact is that the Bills have saved themselves right around $6 million, but it's going to lock in Star for this season. No doubt about it, 100% going to lock in Star for this season. But it could mean that the Bills are going to talk extension or talk a re-sign with Shaq Lawson. It could mean that they're freeing up money to re-sign Jordan Phillips. Ron Enoch says it could be a sign that Olsen's on his way. Yeah, I mean, you could really take money away from Star and give it right to Greg Olsen on 1 year. It's absolutely a possibility. But remember, free agency hasn't technically started yet. But yeah, Madden football talk. Oh, I wish we would just cut this guy. You can't be mad about them taking money away from him because it was kind of justified. And as they start pulling back financially from Star, it makes it easier to walk away. But again, you could be taking money away from Star here and now adding players and it not cost you anything. You know, you're going to save right around $2 million this season. Olsen, again, is coming in for a visit. All these guys who were not on teams last season, because the league year technically doesn't start until the beginning of March. So guys can, go on visits, but realistically, you can't really sign anything unless the player was not on a team last season. Vontae Davis is a perfect example of that. When the Bills signed Vontae Davis a while ago, they did that before the start of the league year, and they did that before the start of free agency. So only players who were not on teams last year or were released at the end of the season are available to sign contracts right now. So again, that's an opportunity for the Bills to kind of slide in and create some money. So let me walk through these financials one more time. Star Lotulelei is going to be losing $2 million in base salary this season, but it makes his cap number just too much to cut him. Okay, take that off the board. He's not getting cut. He's going to be on the Bills for 2020. It's going to cost him $11 million to get rid of him. It's not going to happen. In 2021, his cap number is going from 10.85 down to $9.1 million. If you wanted to cut him then, it's going to cost you $5.2 million and save you $6.5 million plus whatever his bonuses were going to be. You'll get the money back for his bonuses. In 2022, you want to cut him? Well, his contract was at 10.85. It is now down to 9, and it would cost you $2.6 million to cut him, save you about $5 million. So again, this is not bad structure. We talk about the process, and this is an example of a player wanting to be here, right? He does not have to take this contract restructure. Geek Squad, what about Wade and Singletary? Well, Singletary's on a rookie deal, so you don't have to worry about contract for him. Christian Wade has already signed a futures contract, so he's already technically on the team for next season. So Wade's already locked in. This is a perfect example of an organization going to a player and saying, listen, what you did on the field last year and the contract that you signed, these two aren't lining up anymore. So either you can take, you could try and get this money that you signed for, or we can restructure your deal, guarantee you this season, and you're going to earn it. So what they've done is they've taken Star Lotulelei's contract with 3 more years on it, and they basically turned it into a prove-it deal, because he's going to be on the roster this season. But if he wants to make the roster for 2021, the roster for 2022, he's now in a prove-it scenario, because the Bills are going to save more money by cutting him than keeping him after the 2020 season. So that's all big deal. Rico says, what about cutting Trent Murphy and re-signing Lawson? You could free up money by doing that. Trent Murphy is entering the last year of his deal, so you could end up cutting Trent Murphy. But again, the Bills love that rotation, so I don't think it's going to be addition by subtraction, right? If you start talking about removing a player like Trent Murphy, that means that they're going to re-sign somebody, and then they'd probably also draft somebody. That's just the way that's going to go. Work order says Wade still has 1 more year of practice squad eligibility. He does. He won't be the exempt player though, so he could still go on the Bills practice squad this upcoming season, but he wouldn't be that 11th player, meaning he could actually be reactivated. Christian Wade. You guys love Christian Wade. I mean, you guys talk about him all the time. His name always comes up. All right, so again, this is, I saw the comment, this tastes like Brita. I'm sorry, this tastes like process. Yes. This 100% reeks of process. This is exactly an example of what players will do to give themselves life in the NFL and to stick with the team that they want to be a part of. So this is without a doubt. Star Lotulelei was faced with a situation where it was either play and possibly be cut, or we'll give you this year, but you got to earn the years after that. His contract was looking a little dark there, but this is something they could absolutely walk away from after next season. So thank you guys for joining in. For those of you that don't know, I am off from here on out. I got baby time coming. Baby comes Thursday, so I'll be off for a few weeks. So Mario will be taking over, doing his thing. So this was kind of late breaking news. So I do the contract stuff, so I figured I'd help Mario out with this one. I hope you guys all have an amazing week. We'll continue to see if we get any more contract restructures. If the Bills are talking about this restructure thing, that puts Trent Murphy back on the table for a contract restructure. Jerry Hughes is basically guaranteed to be on the team in 2020 as well. His contract's fully guaranteed. But we might start seeing things like Trey White is going to be up for a contract extension. Matt Milano's up for a contract extension. Like there's players out there that you could start having talks with. I will not be naming my child Cornelius Bennett, Jack Patrick, but there's players on the Bills roster you could start talking extension with. This is kind of good news that the Bills are already working towards their 2020 cap numbers, but they're saving a lot of money here. Not only money this year, but money in future years. And it gives them the ability to walk away from Star Lotulelei really when they want to, which is great. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll talk to you later.